Hello, my name is Sapri Cook, and this is my League Two table predictions for the end of the season, as of the 28th of December 2020. So this video will be coming out after Matchday 21, but the predictions were made beforehand. So here we go. I'll go from first to last, so in order from promotion from the champions to who's going to be relegated down to the National League. So let's start with the champions, and I have gone with Exeter City. So Exeter City have kind of bottled promotion many times over the years for the last 10 years, and I think they'll end their 10-year run in League Two, where they've tried so hard to get out. They'll finally do it as champions, with a very high number of goals, 101 goals, as they have already scored quite a lot. But they will concede 49, giving them a goal difference of 52, and they'll get a very high number of points with 88, and they'll win more than half of their games and lose just 8. So Exeter City will be the champions of League Two. Now in second place, coming just behind them with 85 points, so a win below them essentially, is Salford City with 85 points. As I said, they'll get 23 wins, so they'll win half of their games, drawing 16 and losing fewer than Exeter actually, with 7. They won't score as many goals or concede as many goals, and yeah, they will be another team to go up. In third place, so the final promotion place slipping in, is Cheltenham Town, finishing with the same amount of points as Salford above them, with more wins, with 24 wins, and therefore fewer draws and more losses, so they'll have 9 losses rather than 7, and even more than Exeter, who had 8. So they're just slipping in, but who's just missing out? And it is just missing out, it's 1 point, I believe. Yeah, Newport County with 84 points. They did not too well, they came 14th mid-table last season. But this season, I think, well, they have already started on a good note. They're up in the promotion places at the moment, and they were top for quite a significant while. And I think they won't hold that very well, as they have been on a not the best run recently, and they'll finish 4th, 1 point behind the promotion places with 84 points. They'll win half their games like Salford, but they'll draw 1 more and lose 1 more. So yeah, well, they'll draw 1 fewer, won't they, and lose 1 more. Now in 5th place is Carlisle United, who last season, where did they come last season? They came 18th, so they didn't do too well, but they're succeeding compared to what they did last season, this season, and I think they'll continue that and finish in 5th place with 82 points, so 3 points off the promotion places. They'll actually win quite a few games, but that's a compromise for more losses, with 12 losses and fewer draws, actually 10 draws, and they'll score fewer goals than the teams that are above them. So that's in 5th place. In 6th place I've got Cambridge United, who had a storming start to their season, getting a very high goal difference, getting some very good wins in, and they were top of the table for a significant portion of the beginning of this season. I think they won't continue their amazing run, but they'll improve on their current run of form, because they're currently sitting at 8th or 9th, and you know, they've had a few pretty bad results, like they lost against Bradford a couple of weeks ago, who were, you know, not doing very well at the time. They're doing a bit better now, but yeah, I think they'll improve on their run of form eventually. They're a decent side, to say that they did well to start off with, and I think they'll finish in 6th place with 81 points, and they'll score as many goals as the points that they get actually, and they'll win half of their games, drawing 12 and losing 11. now in 7th place, and this is just slipping into the playoffs. Port Vale 3 points behind Cambridge with 78 points, again winning half of their games, but they draw fewer. They're only going to draw 9 games, in my opinion, getting 14 losses, so quite a few losses. Last season they just missed out on the playoffs when the season was abandoned for obvious reasons, and they were even 1 point off 6th. They were on 57 points, with Colchester and Northampton above them with 58. So yeah, I think they'll finish in 7th and this time get into the playoffs. Although they do have a bad run of form, just 6 points in their last 11 games due to their draw against Bradford on the 29th of December. But yeah, I think they'll come in 7th. In 8th, I have Forest Green Rovers, who had a very good start to their season, as they did last season. I mean, no, they didn't have a too good start this season, did they? But they've definitely improved, and they're up in the promotion places, and they're doing quite well. But I think they will drop off, like they did last season, and they'll finish in 8th, 1 point behind the playoffs. They'll win fewer games than the teams above them. They'll lose, actually, fewer games, but that's just because they've got 17 draws. That's quite a lot of draws. So yeah, I've got Forest Green Rovers finishing in 8th place, 1 point behind the playoff places, and in 9th, Colchester just missing out as well, with 76 points, 2 points off the playoffs. They'll win fewer games, lose more games, but draw fewer as well, and they will finish in 9th. And then there's a bit of a gulf, I think, just a 2-point gap between them and Bradford City, who started off not doing very well, did they? They actually ended up in the relegation places before they sacked their manager. But under their current manager, or their caretaker manager, they're doing very well, getting 11 points from their last 5 games out of a possible 15, 3 wins and 2 draws. I think they'll continue the form, maybe not to the extent that they're currently doing, but they'll definitely do better than they were doing, and they'll finish with 21 wins, so more wins than the couple of teams above them. But they'll be 4 points off the playoffs, and they won't really get higher than 10th, I don't think, in the season. And they'll finish with 74 points, and yeah, in 10th place. Now for 11th, there is a big gulf here. Tranmere Rovers, one of the teams that were relegated from League One last season after the season was abandoned. They finished very close to survival, but were in fact relegated, and they'll finish 6 points behind the team above them with 68 points. As you can see, quite a few fewer wins, more draws actually, and a similar amount of losses, and they'll score much fewer goals. But yeah, Tranmere Rovers with 68 points in 11th. In 12th, bang in the middle of the table, in mid-table, is Walsall, who were relegated into League Two for last season. Last season they actually finished 12th last season as well, and so yeah, I think they won't do much improvement on last season. They're a pretty average League Two team now, and they'll get quite a lot of draws, not as many wins, but they'll do alright. They'll definitely survive, and yeah, they are actually doing decently well, and there was one point where they were knocking on the door of playoffs a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think they will be knocking on the door of the playoffs, and they'll finish in 12th. Now 13th, getting to the bottom half of the table, I have Oldham Athletic, who do get some good wins, but I think they'll have variable results over the course of the rest of the season. They'll finish in 13th place, just missing out on the top half of the table, finishing with 65 points. 16 wins, 17 draws, and 13 losses. So fewer losses than some of the teams that currently sit above them in this prediction. But they concede quite a lot of goals, but score a lot as well. So there's Oldham Athletic in 13th. 14th, I've got Bolton Wanderers, who've had a massive fall from grace in the last 10 years, and due to financial troubles find themselves in League Two. I think they won't do as well as some people thought they would. They'll finish down in 14th place, so low mid-table in my eyes. They'll finish with 64 points, so still decent. I mean, they won't go down. They definitely won't go down. But 64 points, 17 wins, fewer draws than a lot of teams around them, and they'll be the first team with negative goal difference, with -5 goal difference. Now moving on to 15th, so this is getting into the kind of, they'll survive, but they're not the best. Morecambe. Now Morecambe have had a good run of form recently. They've been up in the playoffs and stuff, and doing very well. All with negative goal difference, which I think is quite fascinating. But I don't think they will be able to continue this run of form, especially as their next 2 games are postponed. The game that was supposed to be played today, and the game that they have on Saturday. I think they'll start to fall off a bit and finish with 64 points in 15th place. Get fewer draws than many of the teams in League Two. Finish with a negative goal difference, -5, and they'll finish in 15th. So now going down to 16th, Leyton Orient. Now Leyton Orient are doing alright. Last season they finished in 17th, so 1 place lower than I'm saying they will finish this season, but they are doing decently well at the moment. But since they've been in the National League before, although they do have money and stuff, I just don't think they'll be able to continue their run of form, and they will finish in 16th place with 63 points, with actually a pretty even amount of results, with 16 wins, 15 draws and 15 losses. They'll finish with a positive goal difference, unlike the teams around them, and yeah, they'll finish in 16th place. Now into 17th place is Scunthorpe United, who have had a very unprecedentedly bad start to the season, but I think they'll slightly improve and be very safe. With 54 points, quite a gulf between them and the team above them, but I think they will finish in 17th place, with fewer draws than a lot of the teams, and many more losses than the teams around them. And yeah, last season they finished 20th, which was very bad considering they were relegated into League Two for that season from League One. So yeah, we'll now move on to 18th, which is Crawley Town, who are mid-table, I believe, at the moment, but will fall off a bit. They'll get a lot of draws out of their games. 20 draws, in fact. So almost half of their games will be draws. Just 10 wins. They're the first team to... they're the highest team to have their wins as their lowest stat out of wins, draws and losses. Just 10 wins compared to 16 losses and 20 draws. And they'll finish with -6 goal difference. The first team, the highest team to score fewer than 50 goals this season. So yeah, they'll finish in 18th place. Now there's a bit of a gulf to Harrogate Town, 6 points. Now Harrogate have never been in the league before, never been in the Football League before, never been above non-league. They won the playoffs against Notts County to get promoted, and I think they'll be pretty comfortably safe. Despite having a good start and falling off a bit, I think they'll kind of stay where they currently are, finish in 19th place with 44 points, 11 wins, 11 draws, 24 losses, and they'll finish in 19th place. Now there's a big gulf to 20th place, and it's Barrow, the team that also got promoted. They finished as champions of the National League, and as you can see, there's a big gulf between Harrogate with 44 points and Barrow with 33. Barrow just getting 7 wins from the season, 12 draws, 27 losses, quite a lot of losses. Scoring a similar amount of goals to Harrogate, but conceding many, many more. and I think they'll finish in 20th, just surviving. I mean, they are on a not bad run of form, but I don't think they'll be able to continue it. And as you can see, they'll finish with 33 points from the 46 games. Now for 21st place, it'll be Southend United, who had an awful start to the season, an absolutely woeful start to the season considering they were relegated. They'll finish, in my opinion, with 30 points as well as 30 losses. They, despite not getting a win until mid-November away against Walsall, I don't think they will not get many wins. I think they'll get 7 wins, 9 draws, and be one place, as you will see, one place above the relegation, 1 point even above the relegation places, 2 places above it. Now to 22nd, where they survived just on goal difference. Mansfield Town, who had an awful start, a bit like Southend to the season, not getting a win for quite a while, but I think they'll be okay. Only getting 5 wins, 14 draws, they will be able to survive on goal difference with minus 49 goal difference, scoring 31 goals, which is not many. Last season they finished 21st, so just surviving then as well, although they were quite a lot of points above the relegation places. So yeah, I think Mansfield Town will finish in 22nd, and on goal difference with Stevenage, with Mansfield on 29 points, 4 lower goal difference, minus 53. Stevenage will be relegated back down to the National League after, I believe, a 10-year spell in the Football League, where they actually got up to League One for a couple of seasons. But they'll get 5 wins, 14 draws, and go back down. Last season they had a woeful season, getting just 3 wins from the 36 games they played before the season was abandoned. And they were only reprieved of relegation because Macclesfield were deducted a total of 17 points, I believe, and ended up being relegated instead, and actually don't exist anymore. Macclesfield unfortunately wound up back in September, but yeah, Stevenage will be relegated this time, as they were relegated last time, and they'll only do it on goal difference with Mansfield Town. And finally, by process of elimination, you might be able to work it out, but if not, then I'll show you. It is Grimsby Town who will finish bottom of the Football League and will be relegated to the National League, back down for the first time in, I think, 6 years. Is it 6 years? 5 or 6 years. With 6 wins, so more than the couple of teams above them, but they'll get 30 losses, just 10 draws, and 28 points, conceding a staggering 92 goals, with the worst goal difference in the league of minus 64. So yeah, that's my predictions. I haven't quite worked out who will win the playoffs yet, as the playoffs are very unpredictable, especially in League Two, I would say. So yeah, comment down below what you think and what you would alter about my predictions, and make sure you like the video, and possibly even subscribe if you enjoyed it that much. And yeah, so I will probably see you in the next video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.